Hey, folks, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country here on Fish Creek Radio. And we are very proud to announce that Wade Hayes is releasing his brand new album called Go Live Your Life. And for the lucky folks that did the Pledge Music uh, project, and they've got their downloads already, so I know there's lots of people out there listening to it. But we are going to play a couple new songs from that album on the show tonight, so this will be a Fish Creek Radio debut. And we're very happy to have Wade Hayes with us here today to talk about his new album. Wade, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for coming back on again. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, I'm glad to do it. I appreciate you playing some of the new cuts. I really do.
Hey, you got it, man. And I want to let you know, too, that we have the GoLiveYourLife.com listed on our website for FishCreekRadio.com. And
wonderful.
We are going to help in any way we can. And I want to also let folks know that if you go to iTunes, the company Genentech is donating $1 for every download of Go Live Your Life to the Colon Cancer Alliance Blue Note Fund. And that's
yes, thank you for mentioning that, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, that's a wonderful cause, and
certainly is.
We're gonna, obviously we're gonna talk about the reasons why this album came about. But for folks that have loved ones or they themselves have gone through cancer or going through cancer, this is a very inspirational story, and it's a wonderful thing. But also for anyone who's having any difficulties in their life, there's a song on this album for you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I've certainly had my share of troubles in this old world, but I know that everybody has, and it's part of life, and we do our best to get through it. And I'm learning as I get older that part of our job, I think, is to help one another, and hopefully there'll be something on this record that folks could identify with and maybe understand and say, yeah, that dude's been there too. So hopefully there's something that'll help and maybe inspire them.
Well, I think so, and as I said, I think there's songs on here that make you laugh, there's songs on here that make you cry, and there's songs on here that make you really think. And no matter what your circumstances are, there's something on here I think
right.
for everybody. And you've done the hype for an album can sometimes outdo what when the actual album comes out. But in this case, man, you hit it out of the park on this one.
Oh, man, well, that means the world to me. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that.
Well, this album, Wade, you've obviously really stretched your songwriting skills, your songwriting skill wings, I guess, as it were. And so tell me a little bit about some of the songs on this album. Now, you wrote or co-wrote 9 of the songs, right, on this album?
Yeah, 9 of the 10 songs on there I wrote or co-wrote, and there was one song on there written called If the Sun Comes Up, and it's a song written by my friend Ray Scott here in Nashville. And he'd actually had a little scare with cancer, too, and he wrote that song, and it really resonated with me, and I thought it was a perfect fit for this record, and I just love it. But the current single, Go Live Your Life, we actually just shot the video for that here in Nashville, and my dog Jack is making his video debut, and it's great. And they used a drone. This first time I've ever worked with a drone, and it was fascinating, incredible machine. And the song came about when I was talking to my oncologist, one of the last visits when I was going through all my treatment, and he looked at me and he said, Wade, this is kind of a big deal. I want you to realize you were stage 4. And this was after my second bout with cancer. He said, you were stage 4, and now you're cancer-free. He said, that's a big deal, and I want you to go live your life. And that just hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I went home and told the story to a friend of mine named Bobby Pinson. He's a great songwriter here in Nashville, and we wrote the song together. And it's a song about a second chance and taking for granted or not taking for granted things like I did in my previous life, but I'm certainly a different person now. And I'm just trying to make the most of every day, and that's what the song's about.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Wade, you and I have had a chance to meet several times, and I've been to, I think, 4 of your shows now. And,
yes.
You strike me as a, in entertainment, people can get very fickle and wrapped up in their own careers. And the the thing that always impresses me about you is that not only do you take the time to talk with your fans and sign autographs, and it's not just that though. It's you can tell there's a genuine connection there, and I think it's a wonderful thing. You have such a wonderful legion of fans, and there's a lady on Facebook that her daughter Lainey has met you a couple times, and
Yes.
she's gone out and gotten the blue ribbons, and she's handing them out, and she's sending us some, and she's just really taken this to heart. And
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. They're very, very nice people. And, as far as the fans and the shows, and I am very thankful to get to do this for a living. And at times I actually feel guilty because I get to play guitar and write songs, and I do that for a living. And I'm so thankful, especially now, so thankful to even be here on this planet still. And it's a big deal to me, and I appreciate the folks so much that let me, that facilitate me doing this and let me do it for a living.
Well, that's wonderful. You got a great support group. They call themselves the Wade Warriors.
That's a fact, yes. Some wonderful folks.
And every time, I know last time you were on the show, man, we just, our lives just blew up with all the supporters and everybody getting on there. And
oh, that's great.
And I think that's wonderful.
That's great.
Well, hey, I got a couple of favorites I want to talk about, songs from your new album. I absolutely love Blue Bonnet Blues. Tell me about that one.
Oh, man, thank you. I love that song, too. That's one of my very favorites on the record. That is a song I wrote with a friend of mine named Roger Springer, and he's written several hits for Mark Chestnut. And he's an Okie, and we've known each other for years and years. And I had the title, and we actually were going to pitch it for George Strait, and we originally wrote it from a Texas point of view. And we got done with it, and I started recording this record, and I thought, man, I want to cut that song. So I changed it around a little bit from an Oklahoma perspective, and kind of mixed some real life stuff in there on my behalf, and came up with this song, and it's just kind of a slow Western swing type song, maybe a little jazzy and some good picking on it, and it's a sweet song.
It's got that old school feel to it. I really like that.
Yes, it definitely does. It's like maybe one of Bob Wills or Asleep at the Wheel, and even George Strait has cut some slow Western swing stuff like that.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And
I'm tickled.
The one that just made me laugh, and I had to read the title twice before I listened to it because it looks like it should say something else, but it says, "Remember the alimony."
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another one that I wrote with my friend Roger, and we were sitting around staring at each other one day, and we had messed around with a couple of songs and couldn't get anything going, and he said, "I've got this one title," and he told it to me, and we were off to the races. It was fun. We laughed out loud writing the song, and I actually went home and Googled the Alamo to get some points, about a song. So, that's where Santa Ana comes in, and I'd forgotten all that stuff from history in school, but pretty fascinating story, really. But, of course, I had to redneck it up and make it about a redneck divorce. So, anyway.
Well, been there, done that,
Haven't we all, my friend?
That's one that'll make you laugh on there. And there was one that you released for folks to download that did the Pledge Music thing. It's called Love Knew Better.
Yes, that's another one of my favorites on there. It's a good picking song, and that's a song that I've written with a friend of mine named Carrie Jo Box. She's a very, very talented singer-songwriter here in town. And we had sat in an office and stared at each other for about 4 hours one day and couldn't get anything going, and we were messing around with Love Knows Better, and just couldn't get it going, so I was getting ready to leave, and she said, "What about Love Knew Better?" And I played that intro guitar lick, and that was all it took. We just took it from there. So it was I really, really enjoy writing these songs. It's the hardest thing I've ever tried to do because I'm not the sharpest tack in the box. I love to sit and burn brain cells on these songs and put them together. It's a pleasure.
Well, you've done a superb job, and I've been listening to it all weekend. I was real tickled to get it, and man, it's a strong project, you know. And as I said before, there's something on there for everybody, and that's hard to do. You know, it's very hard to get somebody that there's an appeal in an album for everybody, and I think you've accomplished that here.
Well, man, that means the world to me. It really does. And there, you know, like we mentioned earlier, that about writing all these songs for the project, it all started with "Go Live Your Life," and I started doing that song. Actually, I do a lot of speaking engagements now for cancer advocacy groups and medical professionals, and because my case is so atypical, to come back from stage 4, I mean, that's a very bleak prognosis. And everybody's scratching their heads that I'm still around, and including me, you know. But, you know, I will tell you, I thank God. I know I'm still here. He's not finished with me, and I thank him every morning on my knees that I have another day on this earth. And so anyway, I started doing this song. I had written it and started doing it at these speaking engagements, and people really started asking about it, where they could get it, and gravitating towards it. And so we decided to record it and just decided to do a whole album. So I started going through my notebooks and finding songs that fit this project best, you know. So that's how it all got started, with that one song.
You know, I saw you. We saw each other in December, and I was watching your show, and you played "Go Live Your Life," and I watched the crowd response when you were telling the story about the song, and everything got really, really quiet. And you started the song, and as the song went on, it got louder and louder, and all of a sudden people are clapping along and cheering along, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. What a message there.
Well, it's true, and I look back on my life prior to getting sick, and I know, you know, several or most people that have a brush with death, that, you know, they look at things differently, and it certainly has changed my perspective on everything. And I am so appreciative of just everyday things now, and things that I took for granted. And I'm trying to get the point across, don't let it take something like this to open your eyes up. Because I'm a hard-headed dude. And, you know, it took that, I think, to open my eyes. But I'm thankful it did, because my life is harder in some ways now. But it is better in so many other areas, you know, just appreciating things now and being open to them and seeing them. It feels like for the first time sometimes. So that's the point, is just trying to get people to, you know, not have something like this happen, to open their eyes up.
Wow. That's you know, that's gives somebody a lot to think about. And you know, it's so scary and unfortunate when a person is put in that position. But you know, you've looked at the brighter side of it, and it's actually bettered your life. And that, man, that's
it has. I have to. You know, like I said, you know, I'll have difficulties from that. You know, it was very serious surgery, several serious surgeries, very invasive surgeries, and I'll have troubles the rest of my life from all of that. But like I said before, if it took that to get me to look at things the way I do now, then, you know, that's what it took. And I'm appreciative that I'm still here.
Well, we are too. It's hard to put that into words. It's man.
Well, it's the truth, and you know, that's what I've gotten you know, I have a soapbox to preach from now, you know, so being, you know, having hits from before and still getting to play live a lot, and you know, hopefully we can change some minds and open some eyes.
Well, I think a person's attitude towards any type of you know, obstacle that comes your way, whether it be you know, a financial struggle, a mental struggle, a physical struggle, a person's attitude can get you through just about anything. In your faith, and it certainly has been the case for you.
It has. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, I wanted to ask you. Now, I listened to this album in the order that you know, the songs came down in this day of iTunes and, you know, downloads.
Right.
You know, people listen to songs in different orders, but I still look at it as an album. And I haven't got the CD in my hands yet, but once I have that, I noticed, you know, the leadoff song is "Go Live Your Life," and then the last song is "If the Sun Comes Up." What a great bookend.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That was certainly intentional.
Well,
that was.
and I hope the folks listening will listen to it in that order, because to me, I look at it as an album and it tells a story, and if you listen to them in that order, the whole journey through that album is when you come out of it, you're going to go, wow, I just, all these emotions and all these thoughts you just went through, and it's quite a ride.
Well, man, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you actually realizing that that's what we were trying to do. Most people don't look at it that way, but you come from the school of enjoying an album, and we don't do them anymore. But back in the day, there were concept albums where every song was a part of a story. Like Eagles Hotel California was a concept album, and Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson, which is my favorite album of all time, is a concept album.
Yep.
And, we were kind of going for that this way. It's just a journey through life, and certainly I've been through everything that we've discussed on this record. So
that's great. Well, folks, I want you to go to GoLiveYourLife.com, and some proceeds from this album are going to help the Colon Cancer Foundation. This album is being released coinciding with Colon Cancer Awareness Month.
That is correct, yes. We go to work. Next week, I start hitting it heavy and hard and touring all over the United States, flying all over, doing speaking engagements, and also doing concerts, and just trying to bring awareness to getting early screening. Early detection for colon cancer is the key to beating the disease. I unfortunately didn't catch it in time. It almost got me. But it is one of the most treatable diseases, or one of the most treatable forms of cancer that there is if you catch it in time. But unfortunately, it's one of the most deadly if you don't. Mm-hmm. So early screening is the key. So, folks, if you're having any kind of issues that digestive problems or lethargy or a family history, or if you're 50 years old or older, you need to get screened, period. No exceptions. So believe me, you do not want to be in my position because it's pretty stinky at times. But I've made it through it and very thankful to be here, like I said. But early detection is key.
Well, folks, please pay attention to that, and if you know anyone that's in that position, please share that message with them. And of course, this interview will be put on our Vault section of Fish Creek Radio. We put them on the following week after we run them, so that people will be able to go back and listen to this at any time. And Wade, you have two websites. I want to mention WadeHayes.com, and also, yes, let me get this right, WadeHayes, WOWW.com. Wow. WadeHayesWow.com.
That's a fan-based website, and the lady that runs my fan club, that's her website. So anything, you can go to either site, and of course the Facebook, and find out anything that you probably anything that you're needing to know about tour scheduling or just news in general.
And, of course, we will share that. We have it on our Facebook page already for My Kind of Country, and also FishCreekRadio.com. We have, right as soon as the homepage comes up, there's a big picture of Wade Hayes with all the information there. So,
right on.
And, Wade, you're going to be back in Michigan again.
Yes.
April
29th?
April 29th. It's on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock in Charlotte, Michigan. And
yes,
you can get tickets, folks, at WolverineProductions.org. And it's to support the Firemen's Association. So we want to encourage folks to go get tickets and go see Wade. And he's got a fabulous band that he uses in Michigan called the Music Doctors. And,
yeah, they're great.
There's a gentleman that used to be with Sawyer Brown and is with Confederate Railroad that's working that show too, right?
Yes. Yeah, Bobby Randall is playing in the band. He's playing steel and fiddle with me when I come up there. They're all super guys, great musicians, and I honestly love coming to Michigan, especially the rural areas. They're just so beautiful, and people are really nice. And if you can make sure it's not winter when I get there, then
yeah, I was gonna say, I think by then we'll probably be safe. We've had a blizzard up here, man. It's been something this year.
Oh yeah, we've had it rough down here. Nothing like you guys, but we've had more than usual here.
Well, you guys had that. You guys had that ice, man. That's scary business.
Yeah.
There.
We're getting it again Wednesday.
Oh, man.
More snow this time, so we'll see. Nothing like you guys are calling me a whiner. I know you guys have it a lot harder.
Well, I think it'll be all right by the time you get here. Well, we will see you. That's in Charlotte, Michigan, April 29th. And go to WolverineProductions.org. We'll put that on our Facebook page also so that folks can get tickets.
All
and,
right.
When you're down there, make
I
sure.
sure appreciate it, man.
Hey, you got it. Make sure you come and say hi to Wade. And yours truly and Fish Creek Radio will be down there, too. So we're.
Oh, right on. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll have to grab a coffee or something, man.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Wade,
All right,
stay with me for just a second after we get off here. I need to get an address. We're going to send you a gift basket from our sponsor, Fred Kelly Picks.
Oh,
and
great,
so
great.
we want to send that to you, so we'll have you hang on. But right now, we are going to play a song, and we've played Go Live Your Life already. Wade, I'd like you to pick the next song we're going to play.
Since we talked about Blue Bonnet Blues, let's play that one. That's one of my favorites.
All right. This is Blue Bonnet Blues from the brand new album from Wade Hayes, Go Live Your Life. Folks, if you don't buy any other album this year, go get this one because I guarantee it's a life changer. Wade Hayes, thanks again for coming back onto My Kind of Country.
It's good to talk to you. Thank you.
I am Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country here on Fish Creek Radio. Here's a brand new song from Wade Hayes, Blue Bonnet Blues, as My Kind of Country continues.